Hey everyone, it is Cody here with How I See It, where I inspire you every day to see the world how I see it. Today I am working on a standing arrangement that I'm going to be using for myself for in front of my door, or I may even put it on my patio for patriotic season. I picked up this porch leaner, is what they have it labeled as, from the at-home store, and it was $14.99. And I have cut me two pieces of foam, and I use the sheet foam. You can pick it up at any craft store. And then I just cut it down to the size that I need for my design. So I cut two small pieces, and I have already hot glued that onto my base, and I have let that dry. And I made sure that I let more of the foam stick out on the back, because that's where the majority of my florals and things are going to go. So we're going to use minimal supplies for this, and I just kind of dug through my stash of all of my patriotic items and kind of saw what I kind of only had like one left of. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this, and the purpose of this video is to encourage you to kind of use those one random pieces of supplies that you may have. So I have one of these red, white, and blue 60919 style bushes. So it's red, white, and blue, but you could of course use just like a solid blue or a solid red, right? There's so many different things you could use. It's just something to fill out my base. So I'm going to pull that apart, and I'm going to trim this down smaller. Now for me, I don't like this vine thing on here, so I always just kind of clip those off. Any of these paper bound bushes like this are super easy to just pull apart. And then I like to clean up the ends a little bit. Pull apart that paper and clean them up. All right. So then I'm just gonna spin this around. I could have put it on this on my Lazy Susan, but I'm just gonna spin it around. I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna fluff this out. And we're gonna put one. We're just gonna kind of fan them out. So we're gonna put one on the right side. We'll put one on the left, and then we'll put one kind of towards the center. Let's pull this out and put it right into the side of the foam, like that. And then we'll put one kind of here. So you can still kind of see it peeking through the holes. Yeah, like that. So you can still kind of see it peeking through those little word signs. All right, so then I'm gonna take my hot glue, and I'm just gonna do a little squirt of glue everywhere where I've placed one of those. You can hear it popping and sizzling and melting all together. So next I've got another paper bound bush, and we're gonna do just the exact same thing. So I'm just gonna pull this apart because this is all individual stems. So I can just take this and pull that right down. And then I've got a bunch of individual pieces that I can work into my design and make it nice and wispy. Trim these down as I go. I'm just going to kind of fill in between the pieces that we placed already. Always fanning out all of my florals so that we got some air in between them, because they come all smushed up like this, right? So we want to just bend the wires in there so that we can see all the pretty pieces. Let's flip this back around and see if we want to kind of have some coming out the front. Maybe if we cut them short, stick them in like that. I like that. This one might be a little long, so we're just going to do a little trick here. We're just going to snip this one in half. So we can stick one in, and then we can stick the other in. So it's not quite as long, so it's kind of balancing out with the other side. Probably gonna have to do the same thing with this one. apart and find us a little middle point. Snip that down. Very nice. So now we're going to do the same thing. Take that glue, and squirt that on there. Now you could use a glue pot if you like to, but I like to use just my glue gun like this. That way I can kind of see where everything's going before I insert it or before I glue it down, in case I want to move something. And whenever I use the glue pot, I found that I get strings everywhere and it drives me absolutely crazy. So I just like to do this. So it's whatever works for you. Next I have this little boxwood bush, and it's a pusher bush, which means that I can push these and make them longer and shorter. I only had one of them in my stash, so I grabbed this to use for this project as well. And we're going to use this to kind of fill in down towards our foam. And I always leave my stems longer in case, you know, kind of like hair, you can't put it back once you cut it. So I like to just trim as I go. So I'm using this almost like my foam. Almost like my moss, excuse me, to kind of hide some of my foam. You could, of course, add some foam on there if you like to. I think that's pretty. Because I don't want all that moss hanging out of the front. We might add some to the back, but very nice. I'm only leaving a little baby nub there. All right, same thing. Pop it in that glue. Letting it all snap, crackle, pop together. Clean up my station. And now I'm going to add in some whimsical elements, and I still may add in some more flowers or fillers later on. But let's go ahead and add in some fun pieces. I had one of these whimsical sprays left in my stash, so I thought we could kind of cut it in half and have it coming around the back. So let me see. I'm gonna have to cut this like here. You just kind of gotta look at your things and see how you can stretch them out. So that will go there. That's 2 pieces on that, and this is 2 also. So let's see if we can pull that apart. Yeah, so then we have 2, 2, and 2. So we can make us a nice fan back here in the back. So we'll do one in here. One up here. And I'm just inserting those in until I hear that foam crunch. Thing. Pull these through so you can kind of see them a little bit better. I want to be able to see stuff from the front. All right. Now I do have these fun top hats that we're going to add in as well. That ties in with the hat up top. But first, I do want to add in some ribbon. So I'm going to grab me a pipe cleaner. And I grabbed 2 different ribbons, but I think I like this one more. Just a 1.5 inch patriotic ribbon. We're gonna see what kind of little bow we can make here. So I'm gonna measure me a tail about 8 inches. And I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna make me a loop of about 5 inches. I'm gonna make me a pinch. I'm not gonna twist it though. I'm just gonna come back up and kind of make little bunny ears. like that, so we can just kind of part that sign. Still want to be able to see what it says. I think we can do one more. Just pinch it up. Yep, like that. And then we'll trim off our tail. So I'm going to grab me a pipe cleaner and twist that around. And then I'm going to kind of see where I want it to go. So I'm going to do me a little dry run here. Like that. So I'm going to then grab me a U-pin or floral pin. And I'm going to insert that on. And twist it. So basically we're making us like a little pick for us to insert in. So then I'm going to take my hot glue, drop me some glue on the ends, and then I can go in here and push that in there. And then we've got some ribbon in our design. I'm going to dove cut the ends of my tails, like so. Super cute. So now we can add in our fun top hats. This is a little fun spray that I had. I thought these could kind of nest down towards the bottom. I'm going to put some glue on there. Insert that in there. Maybe one over here on the side. So you can see I'm kind of doing a dry run, seeing if that's where I want something to go, and then I'm putting on the glue and inserting that in there. I think maybe down here on the bottom. I want these to be up in the front so we can see them very well. Fun. All right, and the last thing I have is these two patriotic picks. These were I don't even know from. I've had them forever. And I've just been patiently waiting on something to do with them. And I think that this is the design for them. So they just got little stars on here. They probably came from like Joann's or something a long time ago. But it's just something to add some stars, maybe to the back or down to the sides and the front. Kind of play around and see. I only have two. That's fun. I don't think we need one over here. Maybe one coming out of the bottom. Or maybe they should both come out the bottom. Let's do that. I think one would look good in here. And then we'll get this one going over here. And then we can bend all of these little stars so we can kind of see them better. I think it's cute. You can still kind of read the bottom. Sign. Very cute. And the last thing I want to do is I'll go in and I will add in some moss anywhere where we can see some of that green foam. So I'm going to grab my U-pins. Grab a couple out. Now I'm going to grab my bag of moss. We'll spin this around. I like to keep my moss in a bag. And then I just take my scissors and I clip some off. And I can just insert this in. I take my U-pin and I just kind of staple it in there. A little bit down in there. Right. And there we go, y'all. That's it. Super cute little arrangement using this sign from At Home. Hope you all enjoyed this and you found it inspirational in some sort of fashion, y'all. Y'all be kind to one another. Make sure that you are liking this video, liking and following along on my page for all your creative needs. And y'all be kind to one another. Bye, y'all.